The small escape pod drifted through the void of space, its emergency beacon pulsing weakly. Inside, young Zira huddled in the cramped space, her luminescent scales dulled with fear and exhaustion. The 13-year-old luminary had been floating alone for 3 days since pirates attacked her family's merchant vessel. She had sent distress signals to every passing ship, but each time she revealed herself as a luminary, they quickly moved away. Her species was known throughout the galaxy for their valuable scales, which could store and release massive amounts of energy. Pirates and poachers constantly hunted them. The pod's computer chimed. Another ship was approaching. Zira's heart sank when she saw it was a human vessel. Humans were infamous among the galactic community, primitive newcomers who still ate meat and waged wars. Most species avoided them, but she was running out of options. The pod's life support would fail in hours. With trembling fingers, she activated the communication system. "Please help me," she whispered. "I'm a child, alone." There was a long pause. Then a warm female voice responded. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth merchant vessel Star Wanderer. We've got you, sweetheart. Hold tight." Minutes later, Zira felt the gentle tug of a tractor beam. Through the pod's small window, she watched as she was drawn into a brightly lit cargo bay. The pod's hatch opened with a hiss. A human woman stood there, Captain Chen. She had dark hair streaked with gray and laugh lines around her eyes. Behind her stood other humans of various ages and appearances. "You're safe now," the captain said softly, extending her hand. "No one will harm you here." Zira hesitated. All her life she'd heard stories about humans, how they were dangerous predators barely accepted into the galactic community, but the kindness in the captain's eyes seemed genuine. Slowly, she took the offered hand and climbed out. "You poor thing, you're practically frozen," said an older man with white hair. "I'm Dr. Peterson, the ship's medic. Let's get you warmed up and checked over." But I'm Luminary," Zira stammered. "Everyone knows we're too dangerous to help. Our scales are part of who you are," Captain Chen finished firmly. "We don't turn away children in need, regardless of species. Now, let's get you some hot food and clean clothes." Over the next few days, Zira discovered that everything she'd been taught about humans was wrong. Yes, they ate synthesized meat alongside plant products. Yes, they were more physically aggressive than most species, but they were also fiercely protective of those they considered under their care. The crew treated her like family. Dr. Peterson made sure she was healthy and well-fed. The engineers taught her about the ship's systems. The captain's teenage daughter, Maria, shared her books and games. When pirates tried to intercept them, claiming they had rights to any luminary salvage, Captain Chen's response was immediate and decisive. "This child is under Earth protection," she transmitted. "Any attempt to board will be met with extreme force." The pirates, familiar with humanity's reputation for combat prowess, quickly retreated. A week later, they made contact with Zira's parents, who had survived the initial attack and been searching desperately for her. The reunion was tearful and joyous. "How can we ever repay you?" Zira's father asked Captain Chen. Everyone else ignored our daughter's distress signals. They said helping a luminary was too risky. The captain smiled and ruffled Zira's head scales affectionately. "No repayment needed. We humans may be newcomers to the galaxy, but we have our own codes. No child gets left behind, no matter their species." As Zira prepared to leave with her parents, she hugged each crew member goodbye. "I'll never forget you," she promised. "I'll tell everyone how wrong they are about humans." "Just tell them what you learned," Captain Chen said. "That humanity's so-called primitive traits, our protective instincts, our aggressive defense of the helpless, our willingness to bare our teeth at threats, can be strengths when properly directed." Zira nodded. "I will. And maybe someday I'll join the Earth merchant fleet myself." The captain grinned. "We'd be honored to have you." Years later, when other species spoke fearfully of humanity's predator nature, Zira would share her story. She told them about the supposedly dangerous carnivores who would save the helpless alien child when no one else would, about how humanity's protective instincts and courage made the galaxy a better place. Sometimes the most unexpected species turn out to be the greatest heroes. Humanity's primitive traits, their fierce protection of the vulnerable, their willingness to fight for what's right, their strong family bonds, weren't weaknesses at all. They were exactly what the galaxy needed. As Zira went on to become one of the first luminary captains in the Earth Merchant Fleet, she kept a photo in her quarters. Her 13-year-old self surrounded by the smiling human crew who had saved her life and changed her perspective forever. Sometimes the most advanced civilizations could learn valuable lessons from the species they looked down upon. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their ability to fight. It was their huge capacity for compassion, even toward those different from themselves.